Stu. Thank you for co-hosting this with me. For everyone that doesn't know Stu, Stu's a good friend of mine. Stu Jacobson, you might recognize him of the face of Prep Agent, the largest YouTube channel for what is that? Stu, is like getting my license as a real estate agent?
Yeah, it's going to be basically exam prep. So I have a YouTube channel that specializes in really one specific thing. So it's one of those things that you really have to be coming to me for that thing. It's one of those things that it's not something that you would passively kind of stumble on and go, oh, that's an interesting video. I don't think anyone has ever said, oh, I really like that interesting video on easements and
No,
encroachment.
but everybody remembers you. Everybody remembers you. So
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah, thanks for having me. But
thanks.
like I said, thanks for having me on.
Appreciate that. And of course, Sean Cannell. What's up, buddy? Met Sean. I think it must have been like during COVID when we first interviewed in Success Magazine.
Yes.
You had that awesome story, which I'm probably going to have you tell again about success, which is great.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, Sean, he's got Think Media, a little over 3 million followers on YouTube, on every outlet, social outlet. So take a look at him. He's also got a book, which I read and I heavily took notes on before I interviewed him the first time. I'm going to put it up here as well. It's YouTube Secrets, the ultimate guide to growing your following and making money as a video influencer. By the way, dude, that book is good. I love that book still. So thank you for putting that out. Sean, welcome.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's great to see everybody. I'm in the Pacific Northwest right now. I saw someone's here in Tacoma. And shout out to everybody in the chat or you're on the replay. And thanks so much for having me. Grateful to be here.
All right. Well, here's why we have you here, okay? In real estate specifically, we've got a lot of different influencers. And some of them, specifically for YouTube, some of them say, hey, YouTube shorts, you shouldn't be doing those. Some say they're amazing. Some say, hey, YouTube sucks, just go to TikTok, right? I love what you said originally about YouTube when we talked, which was YouTube isn't ever going to, your YouTube video is never going to die. And when you said that, I was like, oh, damn it, I need to be on YouTube way more. Where do we start with YouTube when you hear things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think if there's one strategy that's worth writing down, despite all trends, TikTok shorts, all these other things, which are all cool, YouTube shorts, Instagram reels. I think every agent should be on Instagram. There's so many personal connections you can make there. You can DM people. But if there's one strategy, anybody that wants to get leads and sales and prospects, loan officers, including agents, buyers, sellers, it should be focusing on creating high quality, strategic, long form YouTube videos that rank in search. And it's kind of a dense sentence, but YouTube is one of the only platforms where your content lives forever. And if you post a video, like I think about Levi Lassick, a friend of mine, great YouTube channel, living in Dallas. And he's got a video called Dallas, Texas, Top 7 Suburbs, North Dallas. So here's the big idea about the video is, actually, I'll share my screen right here. And this is, I have a presentation if you want to hit any of that, but
yeah, let's go. All of it, man.
But a big idea right here is this video is a year old. It's still getting 4.3 views per hour. And the views he's getting there can then be turned into leads, which could be turned into sellers, sales, right? So buyers or sellers. And that's it. Like if I summed it up in like one slide, imagine you're watching this right now. Mm-hmm. You have a video you posted a year ago that is passively prospecting for you, right? You posted it a year ago and every single hour it gets 4.3 views. So instead of cold calling, instead of trying to run ads, instead of knocking on doors, but every single hour, 4 people see that. The cool thing too, is it helps filter out the minutia. Like somebody watches it and you're like, I'm not moving to Dallas anymore. Somebody watches it and they're like, I don't like people with beards. Levi has a beard. Like, well, good, because then they're not going to follow up. But if 4 people watch that every hour, and then someone goes, man, I kind of connect with this, but oh, I do want to learn more about that suburb. Oh, I've been shopping in that area. Then what happens is they're filling out your form, they're going to your website, they're picking up the phone. And so to me, that's the dream of YouTube. But that really, it actually can happen in shorts a little bit, but not in the same way. The real game is long form. And by long form, we just mean proper videos, meaning horizontal, 5-12 minutes. This video is 59 minutes. Like this video is like a deeper dive, which is a strategy in and of itself. But to me, that's what the strategy is. And yeah, if you want me to start from the top or whatever, but we can take it wherever you want to go.
Let's start from the top. And also, yes, this is recorded. It'll be sent out to all of you. It'll live on our YouTube channel. And then Sean at the end, if you are interested, which I would highly suggest, he's going to offer something so that you guys can learn more about how to do this whole YouTube thing. In fact, after the second time I talked to Sean, I was like, damn it. At that point, I was like, I better do this shit. I did it. My YouTube channel's been growing. But to me, it was during the whole NAR. I don't know if you followed this, Sean, but the whole NAR settlement situation with real estate. I jumped in and I talked about it. The video did very well. But more importantly, the New York Times reached out to me. And I created a friendship with the New York Times. And then they realized we've got lab coat agents, and now they reach out to me for any real estate question. And I'm like, dude, what amazing thing happened because of YouTube. So thank you for that.
Well, that ties right in because, I mean, what I heard in the title of this, YouTube for Real Estate Agents, how to get free warm leads, increase transactions, and build a recession-proof personal brand. To me, that was that personal brand move. The New York Times reaches out to your brand, extending your influence, extending your reach. You can see on screen, though, thanks everyone for joining. And that's the topic for today, YouTube for real estate agents. And here's what I just want to cover today. 4 reasons to go all in on YouTube right now. The best YouTube videos or video for generating new prospects. The 3-part YouTube sales framework that anyone can do. And then I'll tell you a few details about a limited offer on our YouTube membership and group coaching program if you're interested. Nice to meet you if we're just meeting. Before we started, I was talking about my 2-year-old and 4-year-old. Life's a little crazy at the Cannell home. My wife and I have been married 19 years. We split our time between Las Vegas and Seattle, kind of based our business in kind of both places and working remote as well. And on a mission to help people build their influence with YouTube. Wrote a book called YouTube Secrets. 2nd edition's out now. But why YouTube and why YouTube for real estate? Well, here's 4 quick reasons why creating content on YouTube is the best investment you will ever make in your business. First is traffic. To get more views, what's traffic? Not traffic in Seattle. It's pretty bad here. Not traffic in LA. It's even worse. But traffic being like views, right? Views to your website, awareness that you exist so that you could do more business. And right now, YouTube has 2.7 billion monthly active users. It's like the 2nd most visited website in the world. Around 225 million people in the United States are watching YouTube. So getting customers and buyers and sellers on YouTube, they're there. They're searching for topics there. They're watching YouTube. And people of all ages. I mean, if we think about Gen X, baby boomers, 67% of baby boomers watch YouTube. And they spend at least 6 hours a day online on an average of 5 devices. So reaching people with money in all different, sometimes it's tough. We're trying to find the cost of buying a home. You got to make what, $125K a year right now, they're saying, to buy a home. Well, okay, then it's maybe a smaller buyer pool for some, but there's still people out there. And so how do we get in front of them? Well, the power of YouTube, traffic. And I think about this question, what would it be worth to get in front of 1,000 ideal clients for 1 hour? Who here wants to be a part of my new lead gen service where I'll get you 1,000 ideal? I don't have that, but actually I do. It's called YouTube. But I mean, if you thought about what would it be worth to be in front of 1,000 ideal clients, pre-approved, and their financing is not going to fall through, like that are ready to buy right now. I like these webinar emojis on Zoom. I see like everybody, like
Dude, listen, you've got a new product, Sean, tomorrow. Go.
Yes. My real estate ideal client service. Well, actually, I do have it. It's called YouTube. And just to give you an illustration, this is my YouTube channel. Every 60 minutes on Think Media, I get 21,421 views, whether or not I post new content. Now, you might be saying, well, okay, but how does that help us? I mean, that's your YouTube channel, like you wrote YouTube Secrets. Well, imagine if you just got a fraction of those results. Because to maybe rent a local hotel room and put out some flyers and stuff, like a hotel, ballroom, to try to maybe get some clients in your local market. The fact is that YouTube can get you in front of your ideal audience every hour. of every day. And it might not be 1,000 people at first, of course, when you're just starting, but it can be 10 people, 100 people. So to illustrate this, so meet Loida Velasquez. She saw the power of YouTube and she wanted to start a channel, but she also remembered being really shy and uncomfortable with public speaking in her school years. So she knew, though, that like developing communication skills, especially in real estate, was so important. And that was actually one reason why she wanted to start a channel, was also just to like level up her skills overall. So she kept posting videos and kind of punching fear in the face. And her first video sucked, like all of ours do. But over time, she was able to level up her skills, practice, learn how to make good videos. Now she's almost to 100,000 subscribers.
Whoa.
And she's getting 200 new subscribers every month and 28,000 views a month on her channel of like hyper targeted right audience. So that's actually about 1,000 views a day every single month on her library of videos. And so number one is traffic. The second one is trust. We do business with people we know, like, and trust, and video is the best way to build trust online. This is worth writing down. If you haven't heard about the 7-11-4 rule, this is a very important aspect of business, and here's what it is. Before a customer buys in today's world, a consumer, they need 7 hours of engagement across 11 touch points in 4 separate locations. So what does this mean? So you and me are like this, especially if the price point is higher. So it's like, okay, if I'm looking for a car, if I'm wanting to buy a house, I'm researching how many hours of engagement. Well, what this is saying, if someone's thinking about doing business with you, they actually need to spend 7 hours with you building trust across 11 touch points. That means like, okay, maybe if you think about an agent, they call you, get to know you for a little bit, talk to you. Maybe you send them something to read, them reading that you send them a video, them watching that. So you're in their email inbox, you're in their text message feed, you're on the phone with them, then they're on your YouTube channel, then they're on Instagram. And 4 separate locations is similar to that. So there's different touches, might be multiple different videos, but then it's YouTube, Instagram. So the 7-11-4 rule, this is a Google study talking about how this is how we make buying decisions right now. And so the cool thing about YouTube is this can happen automatically. Someone could search your content, find you, and then spend 7 hours with you because of your content on YouTube while you're on vacation or working on something else. And then in some cases, of course, now they send you their contact information and maybe you have an email follow-up sequence where there's more touch points. There's like maybe daily touch points where you're staying top of mind. And so ultimately, the power of YouTube is it's this trust accelerator, and valuable content builds relationship with potential clients and customers in a non-sales situation, maybe just answering questions. How much house can I afford? What kind of loan should I get? Different video topics you could make. Makes me think about Angel. Her channel is called Living in Bakersfield. And as you can see from her early videos, she did not understand tech or have very good gear, right? This was like, you know, a Razor flip phone or something, like the level of quality. But this is where we all start, right? And actually phones today are a lot better. A little later, she starts posting proper YouTube videos. That is like the best screen resolution I could get. But I'm not putting the video down because what's so powerful is she just decided to start imperfect. She just started to post videos, learn new skills, investing in herself. And so now her channel has almost 5,000 subscribers, living in Bakersfield, and it's attracting her business, you know, from doing this one video at a time, one upload at a time. In 2023, she got an award from TubeBuddy. They send you little reminders when you hit milestones, and she got 1 million views. And so you think about not just the views and the traffic, but the trust, because people are watching her videos, the 7-11-4 rule. They're spending 7 hours with her, then picking up the phone, and there's so much less friction when it's time to do a deal, which can then lead to leads. Number 3, 4 reasons why to go all in on YouTube. So in her videos, back to Angel, this is just please, please, please make it easy to get in touch with you. Whatever you want to happen, make it easy to call you, make it easy to text you, make it easy to email you, whatever it is. One of the biggest mistakes I see people in real estate make is they put out valuable content, but they don't make it explicitly clear how to get in touch with you. What good are views if it doesn't lead to actual leads and prospects that are reaching out? So she puts that on screen in the description of her video, call or text, email. She's got a couple resources, links to preferred local lenders, her website, some different things. make sure to optimize your videos ultimately so that you can get leads. Levi Lassick said last year, and I want to say this is 2023, and y'all know the rates and everything, how hard the market's been. Last year, they were getting 5.5 leads per day. This year, it's 3 per day, 2024, with 7% interest rates. We've already closed 30 million in volume with 1 million in commissions. Levi doesn't do paid advertising, doesn't advertise on, doesn't do cold calling, he just uses YouTube. And from the library of videos they've built up on the channel, leads are coming in. And you can see some, a little higher last year, a little lower this year. But he tracked that they get about an 8% conversion rate of the leads they get. So if we do some math, that means about 100 leads a month. And then that leads to 8 transactions of the leads that come in, which is awesome, right? Would 8 transactions in the next 30 days be enough to get you kind of pumped? Right? That'd be kind of cool. How about 4? How about 1? And imagine if that just came from YouTube, right? Lisa McBride, Sarasota neighborhood experts, one of the things she does is, besides her content that she posts that serves people, awareness, personal branding, all this different stuff, she created a relocation guide. So she can just let people know about it. Hey, and by the way, if you want to download my relocation guide, but to do so, she gets a name, an email, and a phone number. So bottom line, collect that email, like get those leads. And then number 4 is personal branding. And I liked how Tristan talked about it. It's like, man, from putting my content out there, it's led to New York Times. It's led to more influence. Matt, the mortgage guy, has not only does he have a great YouTube channel that leads to a lot of business for him. And I think he's done more now, but last time I talked to him, he was only spending about 2 hours a week on his YouTube channel. But he said 33% of his leads came from his YouTube channel. And then he said, as I'm telling you that, Sean, I realize that sounds dumb, because if 33% of my leads come from YouTube, but I'm only spending 2 hours, then I'm misallocating my time. I should actually invest even more time into my YouTube channel. And he has since then, with better thumbnails and even thinking about, as he's grown, how can I systematize some things, maybe outsource the editing. But his biggest regret, he said, was not getting serious about YouTube sooner, with just how powerful YouTube was for him. But it has led to a strong personal brand, like him being referenced in Yahoo Finance, him being interviewed in these publications. Like, that's been my story as well, from starting a YouTube channel, being featured in Entrepreneur, Success Magazine, Tristan, right? Forbes, VidCon, all these different places. Well, my personal brand has grown from YouTube. We were talking about shorts earlier too. One thing that my friend Anton, who's in the Pacific Northwest, agent with Keller Williams, kind of running a team, doing some stuff, and also into land development investing. He started with only vertical video. Today, he is doing a fancier video podcast kind of in a studio. But he started with, he just wanted to post actually 1 vertical video a day that he was just shooting on his phone. And one of the ways he leveraged this, and this is a good slide to take a photo of, just this idea that if you're creating vertical videos, you have an asset that you can now post on TikTok, Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts, Instagram, LinkedIn. You could post them on all these different places. And he just thought about like canvassing the internet to get awareness. And then the main thing he does, back to leads, is he has this Connect with Anton Google sheet. It's a simple Google page with all the different stuff he's doing. He gives you these options like, hey, you want to get in touch? And then check all that apply. Are you interested in investing, buying real estate, selling real estate, getting a cash offer, land development, investing with Anton, partnering with Anton, getting hard money, lending money, coaching? He's like, whatever you want to do, check all that apply. And he uses all his social media content to drive back to, let's recap the 4, to get traffic, to build trust, because you're watching him, 7-11-4 rule, to get those leads, to also build his personal brand as trust is being built with him. And so those are our 4 reasons really to go all in with YouTube right now. And, my YouTube story, just briefly, I've been doing YouTube. I've been doing video for 20 years. I started in my local church. I've been doing YouTube for 17. And back in around 2003 was when I got into video, and when I met my wife, Sonia. We got married in 2005, started a video production business. And we were a young couple hustling. But actually, my YouTube story really got crazy in 2009, because that was the year my wife actually almost died. And she was hospitalized for 6 days. But besides that, I remember being in the hospital with 6 days and our whole world was falling apart. Not just health challenges, but we got crushed in The Big Short. We had the house we were living in, kind of house hacking. There was no term for it at the time. We were living with another family and a couple other roommates because we're like, it's all going up, it's all appreciating. And we had a rental and they lost their job. And I was on an 80-20 arm. We needed Tristan's help. I'm telling you, I didn't know anything. And so we're like that. They lost their job. We couldn't float that mortgage. And so we had to short sell a home, one house foreclosed. And on top of that, the church I was working at had a moral failure, fell apart from some senior leaders stealing money. So we really just went through this horrible downfall all in 2009, which is kind of led me to this place of, man, something needs to change. Like, how am I going to take care of my family? How am I going to get out of this situation? How are we going to pay these medical bills? And that was the genesis for me to actually start a YouTube channel for myself. And of course, I sucked at the start. I mean, you can look at young Sean here. This is 2010. And the cool thing, though, was that I started. And I think this is worth considering if you're on here and you're like, man, I could see the power of YouTube, but what about, my camera skills, or how will I sound on camera, or how will I look? And man, we all start there. Like, what's funny is everybody here, though, is probably really good at talking to people, because you talk to people at Starbucks and face to face, you do showings and stuff like that. But as soon as the camera turns on, I don't know about you, we have that like deer in the headlights look. You're like, oh man, what do I say? But you just got to start. You got to start before you're ready. But what I quickly learned was that success on YouTube requires two things. It requires mastering key skills, and if you want consistent success, implementing a proven system. And so I realized, okay, I'm starting, but I'm struggling to get views because I lack those things. What are the essential skills for YouTube? And what's like a systematic approach to get results on YouTube? And so the turning point for me was really starting to study search engine optimization, buying online courses to learn about kind of online marketing and applying that to YouTube. There wasn't really any YouTube specific training at the time. And I discovered this powerful principle, which I think could be our motto for 2025, which, if you've heard of the book Atomic Habits, it comes from that book. And it says this: you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Man, when I think about real estate, I think about, typically we all have the same goals. Like, let's be number one. Let's do 10 transactions this month. Let's do a transaction a day. Like, let's get more buyers, more sellers. Maybe we're investors. Like, let's get more deals. Let's wholesale more, like whatever we're trying to do. But everybody wants to crush it, maybe expand. Like, we all have kind of similar goals, but what we don't all have the same is systems. Hey, what's our process for following up? What's our process for how things go with the team? What are systems? It's the habits, it's the routines, it's the repeatable processes that allow us to scale and create consistent results. And so after struggling for years, I eventually was able to, fast forward to today, grow a couple YouTube channels to over 100,000 subscribers, one to over a couple million. And I created what's called the 7R YouTube success system. Now, we don't really have time to go through it, but you could screenshot this. And these are just kind of 7 steps that I always follow with every video. And I'll break down just a few takeaways from this that we can apply today. But it's just these 7 steps I go through with every video to get consistent results on YouTube. And we've now helped all kinds of people from all different walks of life with this system. And it's all through the power of YouTube. So let's talk briefly about the YouTube business funnel. And it's pretty simple. The way we would apply this system, and our goal here, and we touched on this kind of in that opening conversation we were having, but it's what I call the YouTube business funnel. And it's super simple. It's only 3 parts. Here's our goal. Step 1, get views. Obviously, Sean. But yeah, like step 1, like how can we, let's get views. Step 2, get leads. Kind of a missing piece. I kid you not, although I know we could all be there. I've coached real estate agents. They've been posted videos for months, talking to them about their videos. And I say, how many leads are coming in from your channel? They go, well, none so far. And I go, well, tell me about how many verbally in your videos, when are you inviting people to call you or to fill out the form? They go, oh, I'm not. Now, maybe they go, well, I put the phone number on screen. I'm like, but did you verbally and clearly and simply articulate how people can reach out and why they should? No. And I'm like, you've been posting videos for 4 months. There's no like, don't miss that piece. Like, especially like for this group, we're not on YouTube to get views. We need a few, but like, who cares if you get a lot of views? I want to get leads. Like, I want to get like buyers and sellers. Like, that's why we're on YouTube. I would much rather have 100 qualified leads than 2 million views on a YouTube short that just, wow, got views. Did anybody call you? No. Well, then who cares? Like, so ultimately, and then step 3 is sales. This, of course, you're already connected to Tristan. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. That's your sales process. How good are you at following up, closing, actually getting the deal signed? You know, that's up to you. And there's certainly things we could help with as well. But our expertise is going to be to help you get views and make sure you're saying the right things in your videos to get leads. So I think about my friend Steve Panette. Back when he was in Arizona, he's in Dallas now. He, for example, made a video intentionally designed to show up when people search for Phoenix, Arizona real estate. Imagine if you were the first video on YouTube or on the first page that showed up for your city or your region and real estate. That's the dream, because you know you're now getting in front of people who are very serious, and that's their intent, that they want to, you know, search. Maybe they want to buy, maybe they want to sell. So he shows up, and here's what he did. Here's a quick checklist of what he did. He posted a video. He shares valuable content in the video, and then he gives a call to action to go to the next step. So get views, get leads, and then he can follow with the leads and get sales. So in his description and verbally, hey, call or text me or email me, like whatever it is. And went from using YouTube, he said, Sean, I wanted to share with you that my YouTube channel has not just led to all these sales, but it also personal brand. I've been invited to speak at conferences. Big real estate coaches and marketing and social media people have been invited me to speak. And so our goal here is to rank videos on YouTube that bring you new, warm, inbound leads every day. That's what I want to do. I want to put out videos. Yes, they get views, they get leads and generate sales, but a ranked video is a video that gets views for weeks, months, and years to come. This is one of my favorite illustrations, is we mentioned it earlier. So Levi Lassick, living in Dallas channel, he posted this video a year ago. Now just imagine this. Imagine having one video like this working for you. You post a video today, and next October, 2025, it's still getting 4.3 VPH. Now write that down. What is VPH? That is views per hour. I use a software called vidIQ, and it shows me other people's videos and how many views they're getting. Still. Okay, so the video is a year old, but every single hour, 4.3 people watch the video. And of course, in the video, hey, you want to get in touch, click the link, fill out the form, make sure that he's able to get the leads. So here's the point. This is the YouTube business funnel. Get views, capture leads, and generate sales. Imagine having only one video doing this for you. What would it be worth to get 1 or 2 transactions a month? 10 or 20 qualified leads a month from a video you post today over the next 12 months. And then imagine how obsessed you would get once you figure out how to do this. What I'm not saying is that every single video you post, or even I post, will do this, but then you're just obsessed. Like, I'm trying to get as many videos in my library, bringing me passive leads 24/7, 365. So as we land the plane, here are 3 surefire video ideas that will generate new clients. We talk about 16 different ones in our program, but here are 3. Number 1, answer specific questions. One of my favorites. You can do this all day, every day, and there's endless questions, but answer specific questions. So what's a specific question? If we go back to Angel, the pros and cons of living in Bakersfield, California. These videos, you should make these for your region. Now, notice too, the way she titled it is not in the frame of a question, but essentially what the viewer would be thinking are like, what are the pros and cons of living in Bakersfield, California? How you title it is its own art form, but it's the intent of the person. Like, should I move there or not? What's the good and bad, right? It's a really good title. What are the pros and cons of living in a particular area? Your goal is to think about what are the specific questions your prospects have and turn those into videos. So Matt, the mortgage guy, housing costs are increasing. Should you rent or buy? That's a specific question. The Fed increased mortgage rates. What to know? Like, what to do in light of what does the Fed increase mortgage rates mean? I love this story because this is Andrew Finney. He's a Las Vegas real estate agent. And the reason I love this story is because if you look at this video, it breaks like every rule of making a great YouTube video. And I'm not putting it down, but it's not a fancy 4K camera. It's like a $50 baked potato. I mean, like the camera quality. This was early in his journey. He wasn't like super charismatic on screen or anything. His arms were kind of glued to his side. Like his communication skills weren't that impressive. Even the framing, it's not the best shot. You know, like we don't need to see that much picture above his head or whatever. But I'm not putting the video down because look closely. This video has 304,000 views.
Dang.
And so the key is the topic and the information he's sharing because he's answering specific questions. Really good title. 8 things not to say when buying a house. So it's sort of like, what do I need to know when buying a house? It's a really well positioned, like in this case, it actually creates a gap of like curiosity. Like, am I saying those things when I'm buying a house? It's attracting buyers.
Mm-hmm.
And 8 things not to say when buying a house. So this brings us to this principle that content value is more important than production value. Let's get fancy cameras. Let's level up the gear. That's kind of what my main YouTube channel is about. We'll help you make the coolest studio in the world, but that's not what moves the needle. It's the content value. So what I love about Andrew is he's leveled up since then. He's gotten into the fancier cameras and stuff. But if you just put out the stuff you already know, you're so full of knowledge on here. Like, you could help people that got specific beginner, basic questions. Just answer specific questions and just answer it clearly, helpfully, even if you kind of bumble through it and it's not the best. If it's valuable, then it'll help people. No one's expecting you to be Steven Spielberg. This is a practical YouTube video, and it's all about that content value. Now, another thing to jump on is news and updates. And these are going to be less. We talked about a video you post today getting views a year later. This is not as much that strategy. This is more about getting views over the next week because you jump on a trend right now or over the next month. And so I'm sure we've all seen this, but it's a really good idea. You do like Las Vegas housing market update. Terrifying news. I mean, that's where people, it's what gets the click. Sometimes it goes a little bit kind of clickbait, but if you're being authentic and you're talking about what the trends are and what the data is, this stuff works. What does that mean? It's people want right now news. They want the market updates. Another good topic to be thinking about. Your city market update. And then think about how could the title or the thumbnail really grab people's attention. Number 3 is trend surfing. Kind of similar. News and updates. They also don't always have to be dramatic like this last one. Like it just might be like this month's market update. Like you'd be surprised. I'm shocked how many regions across the United States have nobody or like 1 or 2 agents doing market updates. At least monthly, but even better is weekly because people want that current information and they're going to YouTube for it. Now, trend surfing, kind of similar, would be maybe more macro. The 2024 housing market update. Something huge is about to happen in the real estate market is the title of this video, right? And so you're tapping into these more macro type of trends. The trend surfing means we're surfing on the wave of the search traffic of people wanting to know about what does this or that candidate's tax plan mean for me and all these different things that could be happening. In fact, Anton jumped on that. So he talked about how high can taxes go with Kamala Harris. That would be trend surfing. And another term that's worth writing down is called influence surfing. He's tapping into the influence of Kamala Harris. Here's another example. Something like, don't follow Dave Ramsey's advice if you want to be rich. You're tapping into the influence of Dave Ramsey. Don't listen to Dave Ramsey. Maybe you agree with the person, maybe you don't agree with the person, and maybe you're willing to be bold and pick a fight, like why I disagree with Grant Cardone, why I disagree with Tristan. You throw him in the thumbnail, like, yeah, like don't follow Tristan's advice. But think about it. It's a polarizing, and you're jumping into the conversation, and we'd call this trend surfing and influence surfing. And so I know we'll have some time for Q&A here in a second, and we could unpack some of these things. But Tristan mentioned that we have a program. Let me just tell you a little bit about it, because I know we've already covered quite a few things here. But you might be wondering, how do I set this up right? Or what about camera confidence or specifics like thumbnails and titles and video optimization, and even ways to monetize beyond housing transactions. What's cool about being a YouTuber, essentially a personal brand, an influencer, is you can unlock all kinds of other income streams in addition to your core business. And so ultimately, we have something that can accelerate your success on YouTube. And if you want to check it out, you can go to vradeal.com, or there's a QR code on screen, and I'll just break down a little bit about it and how this can help you. But the big idea is, how do you like the idea of having everything you need to start and grow a YouTube channel that makes money all in one place? Just all the tools, all the tips. Essentially, it's this, right? Like maybe the business is a little slow. Maybe you're trying to find a competitive edge in your local market. Maybe you want to build a personal brand that's so powerful that not only are you attracting more business than you can handle, but it's easier to convert that business because people know, like, and trust you from your YouTube videos, the 7-11-4 rule. Well, ultimately, the foundation of this offer is our program called Video Ranking Academy. It's an annual membership. It's a year-long program. And basically, this is our goal: getting your videos to be showing up when people search for things on YouTube, getting your videos to that number one spot, that first page spot. And people wonder, does it still work today? And the answer is absolutely yes. This is Dr. Eye Health. So different service providers and professionals use this program to grow their businesses. In fact, Dr. Eye Health just hit 1 million subscribers, and he talked about how joining VRA was the single most impactful decision that accelerated his success on YouTube. Andrew Finney, doing real estate. And so this is a do-it-yourself, self-paced course. It's also a workbook that comes along with it. And then there's also some group coaching. So you have community accountability, feedback, and real-time updates. And so if you want to check it out, vradeal.com. Well, what's the investment to get in? We do sell this on my website, seancannell.com, for $3,997. I actually was at an event in Miami, and you might know who the person was. This person came up to me. He goes, Sean, I joined your program. It's the best $4,000 I ever spent. His name's Pace Morby, actually, that joined the program. And you could see he's been crushing it on YouTube. And so we do have a special price for you, though. And it's, if you want to jump in to our annual program, $997 for the year. And the big goal is to give you your best year ever on YouTube and in your business. Over the next 12 months, building up your channel, posting strategic videos. Why? So we can get leads and so we can generate more sales. And there's a couple things that we have that are bonuses in addition to the core program. We have our camera confidence program. This will really help you overcome the nerves and nervousness if you're feeling that. How do you build unstoppable confidence on camera? Our YouTube starter kit's included. This just helps you go real fast. We have some thumbnail templates in there. Just do the thinking for you. Our 15 best YouTube title formulas. So it's kind of just copy and paste stuff because I know you're busy. And then we also do have monthly private Q&A, group coaching that happens. We have a whole YouTube Shorts masterclass that covers 14 YouTube Shorts templates, just easy to follow. Grab your smartphone, really quick hits that you can do to start getting value from YouTube Shorts. We just updated our AI for YouTube guide. This is including 14 ways to win with AI. AI has been blowing my mind. It's helping me get more done in less time. And man, when there's so much to do in our businesses, it's all about speed. And so this whole program will help you with that. And then if you want help with the tech side, we have this workshop called the Video Creation Made Simple Workshop. And you'll get access to the next one. Of course, there'll be recordings, but when you show up live, my team of coaches let you unmute, walk you through, hey, why is my camera not look good? Why are the settings wrong? What camera should I get? It's an immersive workshop that'll really help you solve the technical issues. And then 2 cool things just for this group. I've got this real estate mastermind recordings that comes along with a resource that goes through the most asked questions that we've gathered over the last really 24 months from real estate agents. And this thing is if all you got was this, the speed of this, it'll tell you exactly what videos to make, exactly tactical tips, step-by-step for real estate. And it's a super cool resource. And then it comes with a 2-hour Zoom recording, as well as a document we created with that. And so then finally, this is really cool. And this just came out for us in the last 30 days. For the last 2 years, we've been building up our Think Media certified coaches. And I wanted to make sure the quality control of our whole team, that you literally are getting the best of the best. But now we have an actual personalized YouTube channel audit and action plan. So if you haven't started your channel, no big deal, because you can do this a month from now, a couple months from now, once you maybe post a few videos, and then we'll make sure you're going in the right direction. But also, if you already have a YouTube channel, imagine one of our Think Media certified coaches looking at the quick wins on your channel, saying, here's the exact steps to make, tweak this, change that, really a step-by-step action plan. And so there's a hard cost in the fact that our team fulfills and then delivers this 30-minute easy to implement video that'll just tell you exactly what our audit is of your channel and next steps, as well as the action plan that comes along with it. So this is everything that's included in this offer. And so the hard cost is about $13,372. And so, that really is different things we sell separately, but we have priced this out for our membership. It's an annual membership at $997 for the year. We have some financing options and stuff too, if you want to check that out. And let me know if you have any questions. So that's vradeal.com. And Tristan, we could talk more about that and anything else people want to cover in our remaining minutes together. But I really believe that together, this next year could be our best year in our businesses and YouTube, despite any kind of recession, despite who's in the White House, despite whatever happens. There's so much opportunity on YouTube. And if you got one transaction because of taking your YouTube strategy serious, would that be enough, to even think about this investment? And then where do you build from there as you continue to build your personal brand, build your channel, and get more business over not just the coming year, but the next 5 to 10 years in your real estate business? YouTube's a smart play, and I'm here to help.
I love that, man. There's a lot to swallow with that. I love this. Stu, what do you think?
Listen, this is the quietest I've ever been in a webinar for anyone that's ever been on any of my webinars or any of my interviews. And I was going to ask you a question, Sean, but I'm actually going to answer it because, and I'll tell you why. The question that I was going to ask, as my camera, I have one of those cameras that zooms in on me. So because I move my hands like an Italian, it always thinks that I wanted to track. So bear with me 2 seconds as I do that. Now, my question was, how would you, the question I was going to ask you was, what would you recommend as far as motivating someone or really having someone that's apprehensive start doing the YouTube journey? And I'm going to say this. You answered it with how passionate you were throughout this whole thing, because the only thing that I got out of, one of the big things that I got out of this was how amazingly passionate you were. And I thought about how I started in the business in 2003. And I know Tristan was right there with me starting. Do you remember when people used to buy the shopping cart ads? And do you remember how much money they put in front of that as far as and how many people they would get in front of? Do you remember they would spend tens of thousands of dollars to do that? And that was like, for me, being on the shopping cart was the brass ring. And I'm going to tell you a little story, Sean, and you could use this too, because I thought this was great. My father is 70 years old. Okay. And he does YouTube, he searches, he does the thing and everything. And I remember when I got my first paycheck with YouTube, I said to him, YouTube paid me. He said, no, that's not how it works. And I said, no. I said, they paid me because I'm putting content out there and then they're advertising. He said, but I go on there to search for things. So what was so funny was that I had my father sitting here basically seeing that this was impossible. He was basically saying in his reaction, this is way too good to be true and it can't be true. And that's honestly the message that I think really people should come away with this, is that it's really something that you're silly if you're not doing YouTube. And I'm going to shut my mouth now because that was, like I said, that was awesome, Sean. And as I said, I think that your passion should be message enough, for people. And if you want to add anything to that.
Well, I mean, I appreciate it. I am stunned that I'm this passionate still after doing video for 20 years and YouTube for 17. But I think I literally feel like YouTube, if compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world, YouTube is the 9th, and specifically ranked videos on YouTube. The idea that I can put, that's why I get so obsessed with it. Cause I'm like, wait a minute, I could post a video, today, and it could still be making me money and growing my business a year from now. And then I attach that to my values. because every day right now it's getting a little more rainy in the Northwest. But I made my mom, who's now in her 70s, and we moved back to Seattle mainly for family. And we still have our Vegas house, but it was because we got a 2-year-old and 4-year-old. We want our kids to be around their grandparents. And I'm trying to keep my mom moving. And I'm like, Mom, you have to commit that every day at 5, we go on a walk, and we go on a walk with the kids, or we go to the jungle gym. And I think, to me, I'm like, what does winning look like? It looks like a walk with my mom and my 2 boys. Out of all the different things I do, what does winning look like? Time alone with my wife or time with my family. But when I think about these are some of my values as an entrepreneur, as somebody who's thinking about like, oh, but we got to be crushing it, like, shoot, how's P&L right now? Like different things. I get so much peace of mind from the work that it does take up front. Like it definitely takes the overcome, posting the videos, learning the skills, but the leverage of like, I got videos working for me, making me passive income so I can focus on the things that matter most. And I can continue to create more leverage and more freedom, whether I want to focus on family or whether I want to write my next book or whether I want to work on some other aspect of my business or coach a team member. I just get obsessed. How many videos can I rank? That becomes the next. How many videos can I post? Like how big, and Wendy asked this question. She said, I've read your book. I live in a small town and it's taking forever. The first thing I would say is market dynamics are real, like supply and demand, total addressable market. The aspect of being in a small town brings up the question of how much total business is there in the town. And so I'm not suggesting that you move, but sometimes there's certain factors, where my YouTube channel is not blowing up in like a small town. Well, of course not. Depending on how small the town is also somewhat going to be predicated to the size of your channel's growth. But I have good news for you, Wendy, because Wendy says I've had a lot of reach outs. And I've had 2 closings this year from YouTube, which, by the way, is also sick. You're like, in a small town, I wish it was more. Well, if you mean 2 transactions this year from YouTube is awesome. But then you go, I do a video a week, and it's like having a second full-time job. Fair enough. And I'm pretty frustrated at this point. I get a lot of rental leads, which I don't do. I need to know if I should keep going or not. What I would tell you, Wendy, is you've got the small town aspect of your YouTube channel, but one thing you could consider expanding into is broader topics that could appeal nationwide, and consider other income streams that real estate agents can do in this case. For example, the biggest one's probably like affiliate marketing in general, or like maybe lead gen in general. Like if you can make videos and set up the right infrastructure, a lot of our students get traffic, but then like Andrew actually has people fill out a form, and depending on where people are, he will do business in other states. Like he'll send leads to other states. Anton does the same thing. So you just have to think about, okay, well, my small town has a cap on how big things can be, but what if I was able to lead collect in some way? The other thing affiliate marketing wise is, and you could Google this. We have a bunch of in-depth resources on it, but like, what are the best affiliate programs for realtors? Imagine making videos about, say, solar. And hey, are you thinking about doing solar? That could be anybody nationwide. And then you're like, there's 3 companies, I want to talk about them. And you can have links in the description. Those are affiliate links. So if real estate agents, you could be doing affiliate marketing, which is where you promote somebody else's program and you get a commission. Solar, furnishing, home insurance, like homeowners insurance, different insurances, biz dev, along with different loan providers. Kelly Zitlow is one of our students, and she's approved in, I think, 48 out of 50 states, which is pretty wild as a loan officer. And that helps her YouTube presence. And what I guess I'm just throwing a lot out here, but it's like, there is the local market side of things, but you got to just be aware how much actual volume is happening in your local market. And if it's a really small town, I think the thing is to start playing a bigger game. And there's other income streams you could start creating with your YouTube channel, whether that's affiliate marketing, leads, being able to split commissions, maybe across state lines, and different things you could do to play a bigger game.
All right.
I know.
Oh, go ahead, Stu.
Oh, I wanted to kind of play off that, and I wanted to talk about, I will ask you this question. If I'm a real estate agent, I have a YouTube channel, because I think someone mentioned it, and I also wanted to bring this up, is what is your thoughts on having a real cornucopia of information where, let's say, someone goes niche and then they go into a broader topic? Is it advisable that someone who has a real estate channel, should they put a mix of everything in, or is that something that's going to hinder them on their growth on YouTube, where maybe they should just be in a broader category and talking about things more in general to kind of capture that referral business? So what are your thoughts on that?
Yes, this is a great question. I think number one, never violate this rule. B2B and B2C is different. And so for some that would ever want to do real estate coaching, that's what I mean by B2B. There's people who are like help other real estate agents. That is so much different than buyers and sellers. So get fiercely clear on, is this a business to business YouTube channel or a business to consumer? Kelly Zitlow is a great example, because as a mortgage lender, she has this channel called like Mortgage How Do I for people who want to get loans. And then she's got a separate channel for other loan officers to help them. Now, if you're just starting, I don't necessarily advise trying to run two channels, but that illustrates the point of, here's a quote worth writing down: never upload videos your subscribers didn't subscribe for. Now, I violate that rule. But the goal is like, so think about it. If they subscribed for what is it like to be living in Everett, Washington, and you're like, how to close more prospects this month, they're like, well, that has nothing to do with living in Everett. Like, it's just, so that's why thinking about, okay, why would people subscribe to this channel? But there is one final thought, and that is that I think we also have to accept that in a lot of cases, the audience that we'll get as real estate agents will be transient or seasonal. Transient is probably the best word, because consider this. So someone's like, I'm in the Pacific Northwest, and they're like, you know what? I'm going to move from Texas to the Pacific Northwest. So they start doing their research. I'm in Snohomish County. So they're maybe searching for like best places in Snohomish County. They're searching Everett. They're searching Lake Stevens. They're searching around all this area. And then they're going to watch my YouTube channel for maybe weeks, months, and they might not just watch 7 hours. They might watch 14 hours of content, and they'll watch competitors' content. Like they're just researching, right? They're trying to figure things out. Then eventually we get connected. We're on the phone. We're talking. There's maybe other videos I send them. One of my favorite things to do on YouTube is someone's like, hey, I got a question. You're like, oh, boom, send a link, instead of having to, like, every time you get a specific question, why not turn it into a video? Now it's an asset that you or someone on your team could send, and now you are coaching the person without having to call them and explain how this works, answer specific questions. But then what happens, right, is the person finally finds their home, and you close the deal, and you give them a charcuterie board and a bottle of wine after, and like the whole deal is done. Well, does that person keep watching your YouTube channel? Truth is, probably not. Now, you could try to become a staple in their life by having like best neighborhoods and best schools. And so there's an aspect to maybe there's that relationship that continues to educate about the region. But I think it's okay in this context. There's a long answer to your question, which I'll often give. You give me one question, I'll be like, well, let's talk about it for an hour. So the bottom line would be, I think it's just knowing like the buyer cycle, and then they're subscribed, they're on your email list, you got their phone number, and then their life, though, as is typical for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 7 years, they don't actually do anything with you until they decide to move again and whatnot. And they actually, hopefully, you're building your book of business. You want to stay top of mind. They might do something with you in the future. I think the general thing to consider is that I would much rather, in answer to your question, I just want to put videos out there that are on brand for the channel. I'm not mixing B2B and B2C. But I'm going to go broad appeal and specific. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to answer all the questions, because it's much more about, each video is like someone fishing, and each video is like a hook in the ocean. And instead of having one fishing pole, in fact, I went on a date day with my mom, and we went to Mukilteo to get on the ferry, and we were early. So we got some coffee and we walked to the dock, and sure enough, there was a guy who's sitting in a chair, and he had like 7 fishing poles set up, right? So he had 7 by himself with all the hooks in the water. And I don't know what the game warden would think about that. It was probably illegal, but he was doing it. And ultimately, like, I was like, that's super smart. That's how I would think about it, Stu, is like, broader topics. If it can bring me, the key is I want to get business I want to attract people and get leads. So any fishing pole and any lure that I could put out there, if it can bring me the right audience. And then to your point, if I do something about, let's say, solar, though, like 7 energy efficient tips for your homes, and I have a bunch of affiliate programs, well, here's the good news. If someone subscribed to your channel to learn more about a specific region, they may or may not click on the video, but I'm not offended that you uploaded it, because the reason I follow you is like for tips about my home or how to save money or how. So you might win in both cases. Your local audience is like, that's so cool. I was thinking about doing solar. I was thinking about saving money on my energy bill. But you also now might be tapping into a nationwide audience that finds that same video, exposing you to additional revenue streams. So there's a long way of answering your question that I think both is fine, but thinking strategically about what am I trying to accomplish with this video? You know, am I getting enough business? Like I might, if my local market is big enough, I want to just get what's the strategy we're after? Like if I want to capture as much market share in my local region and focus on transactions, okay, that's my strategy. For Wendy, she might kind of be saturating her local market. Not a bad thing. She puts enough videos out there. Wendy, if you went and searched, you might be the dominant person from almost every angle you could think of. Here's the tactic. Everybody write this down. It'd be like, what is the 10 to 100 ways? Yes, there are that many search terms that somebody could possibly be looking for in my local region. And then over the next year, let me create videos around as many of those as possible. So I show up everywhere. I want to be everyone. Someone's like, so locally, I actually would want to show up in Lake Stevens, Snohomish County. That's the county, Everett, Washington, Marysville, Washington, Arlington, Washington, these different angles. Okay. So those are all search terms. It also just might be like Pacific Northwest, you know, different things. Okay. But then eventually I also might be showing up in all those places. And it sounds like Wendy's market is not huge. So now I'm like, okay, strategically, I'm going to expand and do some other things. So people are subscribed to my channel for home buying, home, you know, living type tips. What else could I do? Well, what's the most lucrative opportunity? Well, I've set up my lead referral situation. What videos could most likely lead to business for that? So that'd be a strategy thing. I don't know if that was a very long answer to your question where I could have said, yeah, both, but I think that
was a good answer. Dude, we had so many questions. We're going to have to do this again, Shauna. I would love to do this again with you at a later time. And if you have a different promotion or same thing, we could do that again.
Yeah.
I put the link there. No one needs a coupon, right? That link directly leads to that pricing of $9.90.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, we sell at $4,000 on our SeanCannell.com, but that specific link at vradeal.com is already discounted at the $997. And then again, there are some payment options, or there's like Klarna and some things on there if people want to finance. But the big, congrats, Connie, welcome.
We have one sign up. Well, let us know if you're thinking of signing up or you just signed up. Let us know. Give me a thumbs up. Yes, in the chat.
Come on, Connie. Yeah. And we have a welcome party, Connie. So you could schedule it where, we kind of onboard you in the program and stuff like that, but so pumped to work with you. And man, future is bright. YouTube is a smart play, and especially not only that, I think about recession. I just had Cody Sanchez. You know who that is, Tristan?
I do know Cody. Yeah.
I just had Cody Sanchez on the podcast, and we were talking about recessions. And she said, really the way that entrepreneurs think, right? The way that business leaders think is they see recession as opportunity. Or sometimes maybe I heard a lot of people saying right now, in fact, I just refinanced. I was so bummed because it dropped, as much as it did. And then I was like, I didn't lock, and it just went up like 2.5 basis points or whatever, but I still locked. It was a point lower on an investment property. But ultimately, Cody, my loan officer, he said, I'm working twice as hard for half the pay. So that's real. And Cody said the same thing. She's an investor in 50 businesses. She said, a lot of times I'm like, most of the businesses are working about twice as hard for half the pay. But in recession, if you survive and you make it through and you stay strong, it's like a slingshot coming out of the other side. So when I think about, whether VRA is right for people or not, our program, it's like, this is such a time to just dig your heels in. And if it feels hard and heavy, it's because it is. And it might get harder, but we'll get through this together. And if we adapt, innovate, pivot, and really position ourselves, not only can we weather the storm, but you'll be so crazy positioned for what's coming on the other side. And what I mean is like personal brand. It's like your YouTube channel helps you get through it, but then the growth and the momentum happens. And then what happens on the different shifts of the economy, all of a sudden, it's like all these YouTube videos that you've been posting this week and over the next year, those can lift as rates drop and as more people are able to enter the market. But now they're finding you everywhere. Well, they're not going to find you everywhere in 6 months if you don't start posting videos now. They're not going to find you in 8 months if you don't start posting videos now. So fortune favors those that are preparing ahead of time. I want to plant the seeds today for the harvest I want to reap tomorrow. I see YouTube videos as like seeds. You plant them today. It's like watching grass grow sometimes. People feel it. Like, I'm not getting very many views. Like, this is kind of, well, it's a process. It's a patient process. But then eventually you turn around, you're like, man, there is an abundance of trees and fruit all around me. You blew up overnight. It's like, why did I blow up overnight? I've been planting seeds for the last 1 year, 2 years. And now there's all this abundance around me. That's like the way I like to think about YouTube.
I like that. Sean, do you want to do a part 2 before the year ends or at the beginning of the year?
That's up to you. I'm curious. I mean, what do you think? Yeah, I mean, whatever you think.
I think, well, obviously, I think YouTube is something that we all need to be on. I love your approach because you simplify this whole process. So I think I want to see a continuation of this. Like, what's next after this? For those that signed up, awesome. For those that didn't, like, what's the next step as well? So before year ends, Beth, so maybe like December, I don't know how busy you are during that, or January is better for you, Sean. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, people are saying before year end. I think this, December sounds cool. It gets us like really ready to crush January, and just hit the year with massive momentum. So yeah, you could work with our team and we'll figure it out. Maybe first week even of the new year or something, we could rally. So
okay. That'd be good. I like that. Sean, you rocked it, buddy. Thank you so much, man.
Oh, Tristan, thank you. I appreciate you.
Thanks
For having me, everybody.